It's time for another spooky video. And for tonight's spooky video, I am going to be telling you guys what I believe to be some supernatural experiences that I have recently had in my home and with my dad. And before I get into this story, I just wanted to say, as usual, that I would never in a million years make up anything that I tell you guys on camera. Like, if I tell you that I've experienced something, then in some way, shape, or form, I've experienced it. Okay, I don't want you guys to ever think that, like, I'm making any of this stuff up. And I'd also like to point out that I'm not saying that this is, like, paranormal or supernatural or whatever. I just said that I believed it to be. Some of these things could be explainable and, you know, like, there could be rational explanations for them. But I just thought that they were strange, and I thought that I should make a video on it, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. If you hear a weird noise up against the wall, it's because the washer's going at the moment, so yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I made a video about an urban legend where if you heard this guy's name, it would, you know, he would come and kill you or something like that. And if you don't want to be cursed or whatever, then you should definitely skip through or close out of the video because I am going to be mentioning his name. And that urban legend was called Okamaro. Supposedly, after you heard of this urban legend, after you heard of the story, you would hear 3 knocks on the wall. And they'd be like, dun, dun, dun. I didn't hear that. My dad, however, one night, when I was sleeping, said that my cat, Wubsy, who is in here right now, was walking slowly through the hallway as if he were scared of something. And he heard like one big loud thunk on the door, and he did not figure out the explanation for that. Now, I'm not saying that this is Okamaro, but I just thought, you know, it was weird because it was a thunk, decapitated head that's supposed to show up on your doorstep, so I just thought it was interesting because it was like a few days or like a week after I had read this urban legend. One night, my cat Cuddles was acting really strangely. She kept running behind the curtain in the window, and she'd run back out, and she was kind of like going in circles, and her tail was getting fluffy. And if you have a cat of your own, then you know what happens when they get scared of something. Their tail will just puff up like a little puffball. Well, that's exactly what happened. And she kept like running around in circles around the couch and into the curtain in the window. Now, it was completely dark outside. It was around like, I want to say midnight or like 11. I don't know. It was somewhere up in that time frame of the night. She was looking at something in the window. Now, my mom said, I don't know if she was saying this to, like, you know, freak me out, or, you know, if she was telling the truth, she really did see it, but she said that she had seen these 2 figures standing outside directly after this. One was staring at our house, one was staring directly up at the hill, and they were wearing all black. Now, at first she thought, you know, this might be people messing around because around here you get a lot of that. We live up in the country, but it didn't make any sense as to why, you know, these people would be out there. And after that, you know, they kind of just disappeared into thin air, like she didn't see them anymore. Honestly, I think she was just saying that to kind of get me going, but I'm not 100% positive on that because I'm not her. That's another thing, like, you can't sit there and say that, you know, it wasn't real, it didn't really happen, unless you're that person, you know? So my mom could have been telling the truth, and, like, I might not know anything about it, because, like, unless you've experienced it for yourself, there's no way to be able to tell if, you know, they made it up, or if, you know, they're playing a trick on you, if they're telling the truth. That's my 2 cents in on that, is that she could have been, like, making it up, or she could have been telling the truth, but I don't know for sure because I'm not her. And then one Saturday night, my dad went outside to stargaze, and he went by himself. Me and my mom were inside, and all of a sudden, he comes back in a panic, and he's like, oh my god, I just seen a light. Now, he said that he could see the stars in the sky, and they were like shining through the tree limbs, like you could tell what were stars, and, you know, this light was separate from the stars, like you could tell that it was not a star. It was a little bit bigger than a star, and he said it was kind of like pulsating, like this. and he said it moved a little bit and then it disappeared. Now he said a couple minutes later, after he had went back outside, he was looking up at the trees in our backyard, and he said that out of the corner of his eye he had seen this white little, like almost orb-like thing shoot up into the tree, and it sat there for a few minutes and then it disappeared. That was it. So after he had told me this, I wanted to go outside and, you know, see for myself. So I went outside, I'm standing out there, I'm looking around, and out of the corner of my eye, I seen the same white light up in the tree, and it like went down and it disappeared. Now a few minutes after that, out of the corner of my eye on the other side of the road, sorry for that jarring, there was another white light, looked like the same one, and it had there for a few minutes and then it went down and it disappeared. And then that was the last of that. So then a night or two after we had seen these like strange lights, me and my dad were going for a car ride, and we were still in our neighborhood. We got to like my pawpaw's house, who lives next door, and we had the radio changed onto a specific channel. Now, this channel picks up very well where we live, because wherever they like do this channel at, wherever they broadcast or whatever, it's really close to where we live, so we've always been able to pick up this channel ever since I can remember. And my dad is driving, so he couldn't have done anything, and I know where my hands were. They were nowhere near the radio. And all of a sudden, the radio just like, it starts getting staticky and it changes the station. And I'm sitting there looking at it as it's doing it. My hands are nowhere near it. And I looked at my dad and I'm like, what the heck just happened? And he's like, I don't know, I didn't touch it. So we thought that was kind of strange. That might not have been anything paranormal or supernatural related. We just thought, you know, it was strange, and it was weird how it kind of fell, you know, a night or two after this had actually happened with the lights. So then one day, my dad went down the road, and me and my mom were home, and I believe we had just woke up, and she was cleaning the house up. She was fixing something on our couch. Usually when I first wake up, I go into the living room with my iPod and I sit down for a little bit and check my messages. And on this day, I didn't have my iPod with me. I didn't really have anything with me. I was just sitting on the couch watching my mom, kind of talking with her. And all of a sudden, there's just this weird light, like almost like a mirror was reflecting off the sun. And it was on our ceiling. My first guess was maybe, you know, my dad was pulling out of our driveway, and sometimes when the window reflects off the sun, it'll make like a little reflection. I don't know if my dad went down the road yet or if he was still at my grandparents' house, but it was one or the other. I looked outside and I'm like, is there anyone outside? Is there anything that could have, you know, produced this light on the ceiling? And my mom looks out and she's like, no, they're in the house over there. So that was a little strange. Like I said, that one could definitely be like a rational explanation behind it. Once again, it was just like a few days after we had seen these strange lights. Then my dad had said that there were like some wet spots that were appearing on his blanket when he slept. He could not figure out the cause as to why there were these wet spots appearing, because he wasn't doing anything to get them on there. We do have cats, so the cats could have gotten something on it. He didn't know for sure. Like, he didn't know how the cats would have gotten water on it, you know what I'm saying? So it didn't make sense as to why wet spots were appearing on his blanket. Now guys, you're gonna think that I'm out of my mind, but as I said before, I would not make up anything that I tell you on camera. Whether I am going cuckoo bananas and, you know, I thought I seen something or I actually seen it, I am telling you the 100% honest truth. One day, it was getting dark outside. It was starting to get that like blue tint in the sky. And I'm sitting on our couch. We have our screen door open and it's glass so we can look out the window. And there is like kind of a reflection on the window, so I could have been seeing things, but I just don't know for sure. I feel like with a lot of like apparitions and spirits and stuff, most of the time you do see them out of the corner of your eye for a reason, because they don't want you to see them like fully. Like, it was probably a mistake for you to see them or whatever. So out of the corner of my eye, in this window, I'm like barely glancing over there, and I see this person. It looks like a man standing in an all black suit, and he was just kind of like standing on the road glaring into my window. 9 times out of 10 I'm probably just seeing things, but it really creeped me out, and I ended up closing the door directly afterwards. And I told my mom, and she's like, well, that's the same exact thing that I seen. So I was like, okay, this is kind of creepy, because the first thing that came up whenever I researched what like this person standing in black could have been was the Men in Black, which is like alien related, and my dad seen this light in the sky. Then it was like, I think a week after that, a couple weeks after that, this was recently, me and my dad are standing outside, and we were supposed to be getting a thunderstorm, but nothing actually happened that night. As me and my dad are standing outside looking up at the stars, because we love to stargaze, my dad said he's seen a flash of lightning in the sky, which I thought that's completely normal, you know, because we were supposed to be getting a thunderstorm, so that's probably what it was. And if it wasn't a thunderstorm, then it was probably just like heat lightning or something, because I think that that can happen. Like a couple seconds after that, it is like 12 o'clock at night, maybe 11, it's late, and we hear what sounds like a gunshot, like directly after this. It's like boom, and I'm like, was that a gunshot? Like, I don't think it was fireworks, because you would have heard like multiple booms. It was just like one single boom, and that was it. We felt that kind of strange. It could have been a gunshot, but I don't know why anyone would be shooting at that time of night, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was all my little experience. Now, am I saying that this was like aliens or, like I said, paranormal related? I honestly don't know. Some of this stuff could have been, you know, rationalized, like there could have been a rational explanation for most of it, but it was weird how it all kind of happened around the same time. And that's the reason why I decided to share this with you guys, because it was very, very strange. And yes, I do believe in aliens. I do believe that there is like life forms out there on other planets. I don't know for sure if this was like alien related or not. So yeah, but I thought that I would share that with you guys. So definitely let me know what you think. Have you experienced anything similar to this? Do you think that I'm going to get abducted and go to another planet, and they're going to like, I don't know, implant me with an alien child or something? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Become a morbid maniac. And if you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Melanie, and I upload creepy videos every Saturday, so be sure to stick around. And I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video.